you are supposed to live the life you have dreamt about. When you were a child, and when I was a child, I remember sitting daydreaming about how my life was going to look, things that I wanted to accomplish, and things and places that I wanted to experience in this reality. There's still a few more things on my bucket list. Actually, there are quite a few things on my bucket list that I still want to accomplish. But I can say that most of the things that I set while daydreaming, I have accomplished those things. Some things that I didn't even daydream, I end up doing, such as writing a book and writing 5 curriculums, helping the youth in the school, because I was in the school system and I was helping to awaken the young girls between the ages of 15 and 18 to develop self-awareness. In this journey, we all have asked ourselves questions. We all have asked ourselves, what am I? Or who am I? I've asked myself that question many years ago when I started out on this journey, before I ever knew anything about getting on a YouTube or social media. I asked myself, who am I and what am I? What am I doing? Because at that point, I felt like my life was so unfulfilled. Doing what I felt that was necessary for me to do at that time, but deep down in the core of who I am, I believe that my mind, my conscious mind, was telling me that there was more. And so I started questioning myself. I didn't go and ask other people what I was or who I am. I started asking myself that question. And once I did that, it's like immediately I went on this quest, not outside, but internally, and started to dig into research and to understand myself. And then there were things that I did connect with once I had gotten to a place where I was deconstructing the mind or deconstructing myself, which was a healing process for me. I did reach out and I found a mentor. I found some books that helped me along my journey to understanding self and to understand the reason why I am here. And that is what we're going to be discussing on tonight. Why am I here? I'm going to ask you some questions on tonight. Have you thought about why you're here? Most people do what they have seen someone else is doing. You go to grade school and then on to college, and then you go on to get a degree, to work a 9 to 5. You never take a vacation and you never live a fulfilled life. When you don't know why you are here, that usually is the template that the majority of the world follows. And then you find yourself always tired, always frustrated, and complaining how life isn't fair. And it is this type of attitude, that kind of attitude that we have, that we think we can't do anything about our situation. Somebody that's listening to me, I want you to know you can do something about your situation. You can change your situation. You can pivot at any time you get ready. You can do something about your situation. Okay? I want you to type in the chat, yes, I can. If you know that you can do something about your situation, type in the chat box, yes, I can. You may not even believe that right now, but you typing it in the chat box helps to affirm And it helps you to remember and recall to remembrance that yes, you can. It is an act of faith that you believe and that you know that you can change your life. So, what is self? We talked about why am I here? First of all, we talked about self-healing. That's number one. It's going to be the number one topic we talk about on tonight. And we'll take each one of the other ones throughout the remainder of the week. So the first one is self-healing. And the first part of the word self-healing is self. So I'm going to ask you a question tonight. What is self? Now you can put your answers in the chat because I want to see what your answers are. What is self? There are no wrong answers here. Whatever answer you put down, that's your answer. What is self? And if you don't know, don't worry about it. What is self and why you should spend time getting to know self or yourself better? How your inner soul is reflecting back at you something. Your outer world is reflecting back unto you the inner communication or the inner thoughts, your habits, your emotions. The word emotion means, for those that don't know, I'm going to write it down. The word emotion means if you already know, you can put it in the chat box too. But the word emotions mean energy in motion. For those that did not see that, it means energy in motion. Your energy is in motion. Remember, we talked about before, we are massive energy and we are always in motion. It's always moving. The energy is always moving. They're always connected one on top of the other. There is no break in the energy. There's no break in the frequency. That's why there's no death. There's only life. We come into this reality to live. That's why we come here, and to live an abundant life, not to die, not to go to work and work a 9 to 5 and then we die. We never experience any of the pleasures in this life. We never take trips. We never go on vacations. It's just all about hustle and bustle till your body is worn down. And I don't believe that that's what God intended for humanity. I don't believe that is the purpose. I believe that when we live that type of life, we're not really living in true purpose and in true harmony with the frequency or energy that resides within us. So when you look in that mirror before heading out the door, you may not like what you see. And if you don't like what you see, you can always change it. And how do you change that? You change that by facing yourself. And if you don't take time to know who you are, it really won't matter what you're doing here in this reality. We have to become acquainted with our inner self. And when you do become acquainted with your inner self, you will win what you want within a time limit of your own choosing. But you're going to have to become acquainted with yourself. That's the only way it's going to happen. To know thyself. And you'll hear me say often, the knowledge of self is the greatest knowledge that you can ever have. There's a Greek philosopher that says to know thyself. And that statement that someone had just put in the chat box, knowledge of self and self is God, that is exactly right. But what is the self and what is God? God, self, frequency, energy, vibration, all of that we're going to talk about maybe in a couple of maybe 30 seconds. I'm going to give you my understanding of what the self is. And it is exactly what you just said. But a Greek philosopher said to know yourself. And that remains key advice for the man who really want to be successful, who really wants to be healthy and wealthy in all of his ways. Without knowing yourself and being yourself, you cannot truly use the one great secret which gives you power to mold your future and make life carry you the way you want to go. Life is meant to carry you. We're in the current, we're in the flow. That's why we are flowing and not forcing things to happen. Life is supposed to carry you in a destination or towards a destination. Think about the baby Moses in the Bible when the mother, the real mother or his biological mother, put him into the basket. And the basket, she pushed it down the stream and it flowed downstream to someone that was able to nurture that baby. That's how life is. We think that life is all full of struggles, but really a struggle is an indication from the universe or the spirit world that there is another opportunity, that I'm ready to reveal you, first of all, to yourself and then to the world. Struggle and challenges are not hard. And plus, you've ordered those things to come into your life at the time frame that you have ordered them. We all order stuff to come into our life because we are the creator, and as well as we are the one who is behind the orchestration of things that are transpiring in our life at the very moment. So, like that baby that was pushed up the stream and that was carried, we're supposed to flow with the current. The current moves by water and air. That's how the current moves. You have the breath and you have the water, the spirit, which lives inside of you. You are spirit. You are a spirit being that's slowed down to visibility. So we're flowing and we're not forcing things to happen. Life, the self, who you are, when you know yourself and you understand who you are, there should be a flow. Knowing yourself and being yourself, there should be a flow. Is it fair? And I think it is fair to say that most of us don't really know ourselves, which at first may sound kind of odd and may sound hard. But given that we're prone to living on autopilot, most of us are just simply allowing life, and we just put the car on cruise control and we're just cruising throughout the world, just on autopilot. Like when you're taking a long trip over the road and you don't feel like pressing the gas anymore, you set the cruise control and let the car drive for itself. That's what most of us are living our life. We're just on cruise control, on autopilot. We're simply not doing anything. We're simply just going through the motions and never stepping back to take stock of what's happening in our life, to take inventory of what is actually happening in our life. It's not really surprising to me that most people are not where they want to be in this reality, because we spend our whole lives moving around from job to job, state to state, country to country, house to house, as if going to a different job, a different state, a different country, a different house is going to change who you are. But it's not. And we never really remember what's really important, that you occupy just one body and mind. There are no two bodies. There's only you here in the universe. It's only you. No matter where you go in this world, there will only be just you. Everybody else is a reflection of you. You are the only person in the entire world. And everybody else is a reflection of what you are emanating, your vibration, your frequency. And people come into your vortex based off what you are emanating at that particular time. There is nothing but one mind, and we all share the same mind. There's one consciousness, and we all have that collective consciousness. When did you last ask yourself, what do I really want? What do I really want out of this life? When have you asked yourself that? Or have you ever asked yourself that? How do I want my life to look? Do I just want to go through the motions in life? What do I want in life? Now, when I say I, what is I? Is it the mind? Is it the body? Or is it both the mind and the body? Or is it something else? When I am awake, the I is always present. But when I'm dreaming, that I is there, but it's different from that which when I am awake. But when I'm in a deep dreamless or theta state sleep, the I or I has completely disappeared, but my body is there working. So which of this I, out of those three that I just named, are the I? Or are all of these the I, the real I? Or is there something else? Is there a fourth one, which was present but yet unaffected? And then you have to ask yourself, am I that? Am I that fourth thing? What is that I? Someone put in the chat that the self is God. I agree with what that person put in the chat. But the self also is the mind. That is the inner self. That is the self that you cannot see. The self is mind. You can't see your mind. You can't even feel your mind. But you have one. All of us have a mind. And being aware of the inner self or the inner mind and how it interacts with the outer self, because your inner world creates the outer world, and the change must happen inside the mind first before it manifests externally. And you have to be aware of that inner self and how it can help you maintain balance in your life and feel purpose in life. You got to first know your own mind Then you find success consciousness. Now, somebody may say, well, how can I have success if my mind is filled with failure? If my mind is all my mind knows is failure. All I've ever done in this life is failure. My teachers told me that I was a failure. My coaches told me that I was a failure. Even my parents told me that you're nothing. You're not going to amount to anything in this reality. So how can I know success when my mind, that's all my mind has ever recorded, was everything that people have told me that was negative, that I would never amount to anything? Can that mind still achieve success? Yes. That mind can still achieve success. When you come to know your own mind and live your own life, you can wipe out the record of failure. I did a teaching a while back about a recorder. All of your life has been recorded. Everything that you do every day has been recorded. You may say, well, I'm doing this in private. Nobody sees. There's a record. Nobody may not physically see you, especially if you say you're fasting, but then you sneak and eat that piece of chicken or that spare rib. Nobody didn't see me eat it. It's being recorded, and it's being recorded inside of your memory bank. And the next time you fast, you're going to automatically eat, because that's the record that it is going off of, because you programmed it now to say that I'm going to fast, but I'm not. You say I'm going to stop doing this, but I'm not. So you're programming yourself. And that program is just a repeat of what has happened to you from the ages of birth, even in your mother's womb. I can go all the way back to your mother's womb till you were 7 years old. You're running off a program. And so it's learned behavior, and we have to unlearn the behavior that we learned. So you may say, well, I'll try it again the next time. You're programming yourself, because there won't be another time or a next time. The next time is going to look like the next time or the last time. All of life is being recorded. Everything that we're doing right now is all written down. I remember every day when I wake up, 7 o'clock, I have to be on here, because I'm creating a record of success for you all, so that you can develop self-awareness. And it brings me good pleasure to do this. I'm excited to be able to do this. So you can wipe out failure, wipe it out. You can rewrite the program. And just as surely as you can erase the messages, the recorded programs, you can live a wonderful life. And as you erase the record, you're also going to leave a wonderful, receptive mind to receive new and better impressions, new and better images. Okay? So you can erase it as many times as you want to. You think about your computer. Your computer has within it a motherboard. And that motherboard is recording everything that I'm doing. You can't delete anything. Nothing is deletable. If you put it out there on social media, it's not going to be deleted. You can go back and find some stuff from years gone that you put out there you think you've deleted. Somebody is going to be able to dig it up. Trust me. Think about what we're dealing with right now, with P. Diddy. People are finding old videos and pictures and stuff just resurfacing. It was never deleted. It was still in the database. It was still in the motherboard. That means you have to go behind the system of your computer and delete it from there, and you don't have the capability of being able to do that. You didn't write the program for that. But you can reset your computer back to the manufacturer's reset. That means it'll delete and wipe out all the stuff that you have on there, but it's never deleted. It's never gone. It's not where it cannot be put back into place. Some of us need a reset. We need a reset in our life to go back to the manufacturer's intent or program or design. And you have to find your intended use for being here. What is your intended use for being here? Why am I here? We've all envisioned ourselves to live a life that we want. I see some of your comments on here. To live a life we want to lead. You've asked the what questions to help you achieve this life. So your what questions have gotten you right here. And you've gotten a bigger optimistic mind, but sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. And if anybody have any questions or any statements that they want to make, feel free to ask those questions now. Well, folks, that is my time. I thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for being the best part of this broadcast. Until I see you all tomorrow at 7 o'clock, I bid you farewell and have a good night.